private aircraft go into. And so that was in 1980. I started my aviation career in 1980. So yeah, you guys can do the math, how long I've been doing aviation. And it was an absolute wonderful thing. I mean, where that was at Denver, we had a ton of stars that would always fly in. Willie Nelson used to bring me sourdough bread back from San Francisco.
That's the last thing I would ask Willie Nelson for.
I know.
What was bread?
And, everybody, and, when we were hired, because there were a lot of stars, John Travolta, I met him, he flew an airplane in, and the rule was you cannot ask anybody for an autograph. No one. Mm-hmm. That was a rule. And if you did, you were out, because they fly their private aircraft for a reason. And I got to understand that, guess what, you guys? They're just people. They're famous people. But they put their pants on the same way you and I do. And it was a lot more fun to sit and talk to them. I talked to Robert Redford for, I think, an hour and a half one afternoon, waiting for his daughter. His daughter was going to college in up at, what's one of those small, see, isn't that terrible? I can't remember. Golden, somewhere outside of Denver.
Okay.
Yeah.
I sat on Led Zeppelin's airplane.
Mines is in Golden.
Hanging out with Led Zeppelin would be amazing.
I did. I sat on their aircraft one time after I got off work and drank some beers with them on their airplane. I mean, it was just a really great environment, and I learned a ton about aviation doing that job. And then I worked for a little bit of time. Went down to Dallas. When I moved to Dallas, I worked at Dallas Love Field, where Southwest Airlines is based. And then, the wonderful opportunities that I had to stay in the same industry and move back home, because my mom still lives around. She lives in Manson. So I was able to move back home and raise my daughter here. So I've been here at the airport for 26 years.
Wow. Amazing here. You have that much fun as you're tied to the community.
Yeah, it's very fun. I love Fort, and I'm so grateful that I was able to move back, because this quality of life and raising my daughter here and being close to my family, it's wonderful. I'm very lucky.
It's a great place to raise a family.
It is. I love Iowa.
So we're going to go right into like a really fun question.
Okay.
And I know in airports, I mean, they even made a movie called Airplane, because I know there's so many things that happen in airports and on the planes that are just so funny. There's probably something funny on every single flight, just because people are packed in like sardines for 2 hours or whatever. Could you give us one or two just hilarious or funny stories that you can think of?
Yeah, well, there's plenty. And I really, I'm not on the airplane. So when I hear something that happens, it's usually a before thing, or when they land, or a car, or, delays or whatever. But there was a very funny incident that happened. Now, this is pre 9/11. So, it was different then. We weren't, on our guard, didn't have TSA. It's when we had Northwest. And I remember the flight left at that time. I think it left like at 6, maybe 6:30. So we all get to work, and it's now about 8:45, 9 o'clock. And we get a call at the airport telephone number, and it's a guy who flew out on the flight that morning, and he wants us to go check to see if his car is out front. Now, he's been gone, 6:30. We walk out front, and in the circle at the end, there is a car that is running. The keys are in it, and the back of the SUV is open. Like, the whole car had been sitting there. So basically he was, because people are excited. I'm going to go. I'm leaving. I have so much to do. I got to check in. I got to, go through all of that. And so he just happened to leave his car, forget that it was not parked, and take an airplane out. So luckily it still had gas in it, was still running, and we told him we'll just pull it out into the lot, lock it up and we'll hold the keys till you get home. So, yeah, there's, over the years, it's always, crazy things that happen. But, for the most part, it's really wonderful, because most people, when they do fly, it's a good environment, unless it's canceled or delayed, obviously. But, I mean, for the most part, people who come to the airport are going somewhere.
Mhm.
So it's a
Yeah.
They're
really
excited.
they're excited,
Yeah.
even if it's for work sometime. I mean, it's a great environment because people, and then we hear a lot of hugs and laughter because, somebody flies in and it's grandma, and the kids are all out, and, it's just, it's a wonderful environment. It's a great
You
place
probably
to,
you probably see like a lot of military flying straight in to Fort Dodge, coming home for like over a year or whatever, six
yeah,
month
we've
or
had
one
a
year
lot of
tours.
those. And of course, we've been very fortunate to be part of that honor flight
Yep.
network that was started in 2010. We didn't have an honor flight all last year because of COVID. They canceled everything through August 15th. We do have one on August 28th, and I'm telling you, those flights are very special. We're very glad that we can host a 737 and have those veterans be able to go and see their memorials. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to be part of.
I think
And
my wife's going to go on that this year, and she is just so excited. Like, it was a huge honor to be asked.
yes, it's a huge
That's awesome.
honor, and it means so much to those. I mean, you hear from those veterans; they are beside themselves on how great that group does those trips for them. So let's hope
awesome.
we have one again soon.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, I got a tough question here.
Oh no!
So if a mile of highway can take you a mile, how far can a mile of runway take you?
Well, right now,
So before you answer that, Todd and I were discussing that yesterday, and it was like a 4-hour conversation, and we had our calculators and our phones, and we just could not figure out the equation.
I know it's just hard because it is the same. It's the same distance. It's a mile. And right now, when you take off, that mile of runway takes you absolutely anywhere, not just to a certain city, and then you have to transfer on another airline to get to where you want to go. It truly can take you anywhere out of O'Hare on United's network of 600 flights a day. How many destinations? It's a great opportunity. And again, I know the people who flew on Air Choice One were passionate about it, but I think it's always funny. Nobody remembers. So 6 years ago, before when Delta didn't, we had to drop Delta. And then we picked Air Choice One, and we were going to St. Louis. Now remember, Fort Dodge has never flown to St. Louis before. So 6 years ago when we started, everybody goes, "That's crazy. Nobody's going to want to go to St. Louis. That's just ridiculous." And now when we moved to this service, now 6 years later, we get calls to how disappointed everybody is that we're not going to St. Louis anymore. And
Are they all Cardinal fans?
I feel for him. My brother lives in St. Louis. It was wonderful.
Yeah,
But the
nice.
opportunities that a network carrier such as United can provide to a much broader group of people, whether it's economic development and business or, taking a vacation and those connections and being able to do what? Check bags.
Oh yeah, and TSA pre. I don't have to take my shoes off.
TSA pre-check. I mean, this
That
is
was amazing.
It's amazing. It is. So, when SkyWest, and I know people are a little confused about that. I mean, it's United Airline service. So you book united.com. Type in Fort Dodge. You pop up now at United's website, and you book to wherever you need to go through Chicago.
So
Okay. Well, that leads us right into our next question. Where do all the flights go right now, and what are the prices? I know that probably changes, but
changes all the time. I mean, this is a network carrier. Air Choice One did things different. So Air Choice One was able to have a price for every city. And the reason that is because they didn't have any code share agreements with another network carrier. Your luggage didn't transfer, all of that. So it was easy for them to do a standard price. United is being competitive for our fares with cities around us that have United. And so, and it's going to change. For example, if you wanted to go today, it's going to be expensive. If you book ahead, and everybody goes, are there any days of the week that are better to book tickets? No. My suggestion, though, is, Tuesdays aren't a big travel day. You want to come back on those Saturday. If you're flexible and you don't have to fly on a Saturday and Sunday, you usually get a better fare. As far as the prices, who knows? It just depends on where you want to go. And of course, it's supply and demand. So, if the plane's full You know, there's only there's a United Airlines system that monitors all those flights. Like, I think they said fares can change 8 times a day.
Yep.
The same thing that you looked at one time. So what do I tell people? If you are thinking and you go and you book a flight or you pull it up and you go, wow, that fare is really great, you better book it, because if you think you're going to get back on and see the same fare, you may, but you may not.
Yep.
You may not. But I mean, like I said, there's 600 flights, Jeremiah, out of Chicago a day. So, and the best thing about that too is if you miss a flight or a connection, there's another flight typically out of Chicago to where you want to go that they can, and they move you. Mm-hmm. You know, they're gonna work with you and put you on another flight or somehow to get you to where you need to go. And they do that. You don't have to do that like we did in the past.
What's great about their website is when you book a day, I've done it several times. I was on the inaugural flight out. I wanted to fly so bad on the new airline. But when you book a day, you can say, I want to leave on Friday, and it'll put a little chart up on the top that says, if you fly on Tuesday, it's this much less, or Wednesday, and it gives you what day of the weeks are cheaper and a little more expensive. So you can make a decision to say, you know what, I can leave 2 days early and save $300, and, you know, depending on where you're going. So it's an amazing system. It works so well.
And I encourage everybody, you know, when they're booking tickets, I know there's a lot of sites out there that aren't United, but really to get the best fares and to really know all of the different charges, United.com is where you should book your tickets.
I have the app. I book it on the app.
And the app. If you don't have the app, so when you book a ticket, Todd, and you have the app, it's going to tell you everything, like your flight's on time. It'll send you alerts if it's has any issues, or it tells you when you take off that you're going to land, you're going to get there 30 minutes earlier. I mean, the app is incredible. United has spent a lot and made a big investment in their website and their app. So
and it says your luggage is on the plane. It says all of
and it's going to be at your destination. It says so. I mean, it tells you what carousel it's going to come in on. Are
you ready for a shameless plug here? Ready?
Sure.
So call Northland Travel up in the corner over there if you need help and don't want to have to book it yourself, because Rhonda Strutzenberg would love to help you with that. So shameless plug of the day. Sorry, guys.
No, it's not a shameless point. So a lot of people may not be able to go to United.com. We've had a lot of people that are looking to come out. So, you know, because it's a larger airline, I'm not going to say it's a negative, but you cannot come to the airport any longer and have these people book your tickets. They aren't allowed to book your tickets for you here, locally in Fort Dodge. So it's SkyWest, they are not able to do that. So if you have trouble, if you need help, again, Northland Travel can help you take care of booking it. Or you just go to United.com or on the app.
And take care of it. It all works great.
But there are resources. So thank you, Todd, because I think a lot of people are struggling with the changes, especially like, okay, so if I book a basic economy, do I have to pay for bags? Well, the website tells you all that, but sometimes people just like to talk to somebody. So thank you for the travel agencies that are.
Like, I love Rhonda. I love this Rhonda too.
Yeah. Hey, it's a good name.
It is. It's a great name.
Yeah, it is.
So I know with Air Choice 1, you could only get 8 people on a plane. With this one, you can get 50. So
right.
How many passengers a year flew out of Fort Dodge? Let's say 2019, because 2020 was kind of a dud.
Right.
And what is their goal for like 2022? Because I know 21 is going to be a recovery year. So we're putting some time in there, but kind of where was it and where are they trying to go?
So the push as far as, the service, United is looking they're not looking at like 100% load factor. Okay. United isn't looking for that. That's unreasonable.
Right.
With Air Choice 1, I think the highest year we had was like almost 8,000, I think. And that was, the load factor was crazy. It was huge. All right. So I had 8 seats. All right. I could have put on a lot more people, but it was limited. Remember, I don't know. I mean, sometimes in the summer they were limited on weight. Because of the size of the airplane. So our goal, the airport commission, and the goal with our service that we have now is kind of like what we had with Delta. So if we get over 10,000 passengers a year. It also helps us with the FAA and the Airport Improvement Program to get funds so that we can keep the airport the excellent facility that it is today. And so our goal is to reach over 10,000 enplanements a year. And it just, with the amount of seats we had with Air Choice One, it was almost impossible to do that. I mean, you would have had to have every single plane, every plane full, just wasn't possible. Hey, look who's up on the back of your chair saying, hi there, Todd. Who's that?
I was worried you got locked in here with me. That's all over.
But anyway, so like I said, our goal and where we're at, I mean, obviously we have more seats available, but we've already surpassed, the amount of passengers that we had, obviously, with Air Choice One in a month. And that airplane load factor, what I was trying to say is United is looking for a 47% load factor. Okay. They would like to see a 47% load factor. That means out of the 50 seats, they'd like to have about half. Yep. And that's over the course of a year. And, it's not today you didn't have 47, but then on Friday or the weekends you had, maybe 80. So, and, with those flights being 7 days a week on Saturday and Sunday, I think we had that with Delta. And we only had one flight a day with Delta. When they had their jet, it was just one flight. We've got 2 flights a day.
And it's so much more comfortable, and there's a stewardess, and it's just amazing. You just jump on the plane. It's like being in, flying out of Des Moines or flying out of wherever, because it's a normal jet.
Well, and the flight time is, so when you book your ticket, you have an hour and 45 minutes. That's usually the block, because people say, well, how long does it take? I go, well, Todd, you gave me that number. Yep. I think it was you, right?
It was. I sent it the first one. It was like 55 minutes there and 45 minutes home.
Yeah. So depending upon the jet stream too, but the flight time in the air is less than an hour. Mm-hmm. So they factor in taxi time, de-icing in the winter. And so really most of those flights are getting here at least 30 minutes early.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And when you land, you're done. Like, you don't have to wait for 15 airplanes in front of you and just sit there and stare out the window and be like, I want to be there. No, when the plane stops, the door opens and you're home. And
we're home.
It's pretty nice.
Even in Fort Dodge, you can be anywhere in 7 minutes.
Well, and even for the region, just look at even a 45-minute drive outside. Those people have access to this type of service.
Yeah, and normally they'd have to drive to Des Moines, and it's 2 hours. Now you can, fly into Fort Dodge, and you're back in Humboldt in 20 minutes.
Yeah, and you can be there even faster if you just leave your car running.
That's right.
Yeah. And then just call us up and say, hey, I think my car's out front. Could you park it for me? Sure. But, and like I said, it's easy check-in. Everything you can do on your phone. Again, it's the app. You don't have to go to the ticket counter. It's just like a regular airport. You check in on your phone, go right through the checkpoint.
And your phone works. So you can scan your phone. You don't have to have a paper ticket.
That's right. That's right. And there's always free parking. No cost there.
I have to tell you, it was like 3 or 4 years ago, I flew out on a Monday morning to go to a Chicago Cubs game for a Monday night game and then flew back home Tuesday. And it was so convenient. And I was the only one there, but we were going to Mason City and we picked up 4 people. So there was 5 people on the plane. Well, when I went in there, I knew the officer. We went to school together. And I got in there just like 15 minutes early. And, I go through the TSA and it's just me. And I know him. And we're there. And he goes, oh, hey, in the refrigerator, there's a water. And I opened it and there wasn't one. He goes, oh, shoot. Well, we had to run the water through the x-ray machine and everything. And I just thought that was hilarious. It's like, it's just me.
It's just water.
It's just you. Hey, and like I said, the TSA and what they have to do is their job. It's like me. When I check in for the flight, when I fly here, do they know me? Absolutely. Does everybody else have to show their ID? Absolutely. So just pull it out and show it to them. And somebody said, well, why are you doing that? I said, because they still have to do the job. I don't expect anything different. But yes, it is hard. And, everybody says, well, this is Fort Dodge. It's, they still have to do. So, yeah, the water thing and the 9/11 stuff. But yeah, pre-check, Todd.
It's great. I love it. If you don't know what pre-check is, it means you don't have to take your shoes off. You don't have to take your laptop or your CPAP out of your bag. You don't have to do any of that. You just set it down. It's like going through the airport in the 90s. Just set your stuff down, walk through, pick it up on the other side.
Well, when I first started here, when we were going to Minneapolis or Northwest, we didn't even have screening. It was called reverse screening, which meant you could just get on this airplane and not even go through anything. And then when you got up to Minneapolis, you had to go through their checkpoint that they had set up where the commuters came in. So you didn't even have to go through. Everybody just walked out the door, got on the plane. Didn't care who they were. Yeah.
Can't do that anymore.
Little different times. Little different. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, Rhonda. Very good conversation. And we want to thank you so much for your time and everything that you do for our community, because so many people come in and out through you, and that's just a huge, amazing service in Fort Dodge. And as our airport grows and as we bring people in and out, it helps the city grow. So you have a really, really big job that's very important. So we appreciate that.
You've done an amazing job.
Well, I love what I do. And look for our new entrance sign coming this summer.
Okay.
Public art piece that is going to be installed this summer to replace that really. So the sign that's out there, if you guys know, it's that yellow sign up on 2 poles. It was put in 1974 when the airport was expanded. The face has been changed a couple times, but that will be removed, and a new piece of public art will will grace the airport entrance. And I have to tell you, it's pretty cool. So
Yay.
it's steel. And so that'll be again. And how many people drive down 15th? I mean, whether it's Harlan or, you know, commuting, it's going to be a wonderful, just going to be a wonderful representation of our city and the airport. But it's just another addition. So I can't wait to get that up. So,
right there on the corner of North 15th and Rhonda Chambers Boulevard.
All right. Well, you know, I had people, yes, Todd, and I had all my colleagues across the state when they saw it called me up and asked if I was dead.
You're still very much alive.
Yeah, very much alive. So, yeah. All right.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everybody.
Great.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.